a while ago, I saw a hack that looked very cool based on the one concept. Metal. When I say metal, I mean the heavy metal music subgenre, which, honestly, has to be one of the most influential and amazing music types I've ever heard. I absolutely love the metal genre. Plus, there are so many different branches on the metal family tree, it could keep you busy exploring the metal family tree for a long time. I could go on more about that later. Someone else thought it would be a good idea to make a metal-themed Romhack, in which the soundtrack is a bunch of metal songs that are very well known. These are a bunch of metal songs that characterize heavy metal and define it. Such as the title screen, which you're greeted with AC/DC's Back in Black. Except it's a really watered down version of it. These are all unsampled ports, and they are a far cry from their original counterparts. Just listen to the original Back in Black and then come back and listen to this. You'll hear a real difference. And then there's Black Sabbath's Iron Man. Some of these ports aren't too bad, but they're kind of a letdown because the original songs are like that much better. The princess has been kidnapped by a funk guy, and you should save her. Wait, a funk guy? What, do metalheads have something against funk? What is this? Take your courage, add to the love you have for her, and go with God. Isn't metal typically more associated with Satanism than it is with God? Granted, there are a few Christian metal groups in which their concept is divine punishment for sinners, in the name of God anyway, but typically metal's more associated with Satanism as it is God. Hell, there even is a metal band called, well, Satan. I haven't really listened to Satan, but I do acknowledge their existence. Eldak's house. So, is the guy we're playing as named Eldak? Certainly doesn't look like Mario. Let's just go to his house, in which he's blasting his AC/DC. It's a real good musical choice there, buddy. You and I should hang out together sometime. Underground number 1. The thing is that I actually watched a review of this not too long ago, pointing out all the flaws of this ROM hack. Ben the Hacker, also known as Ouija Ben, also did a review on a metal hack. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have figured out that this is Nirvana. Ooh. Advice. The big coins are... Wait, what? The big coins are fuck coins. Taking 5 of them you get an extra life. Okay, we have to pause here. In the original Super Mario World, these coins that give you the extra life are called Dragon Coins. In Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3, they have an A on them and they're called Ace Coins. I've seen Yoshi Coins, and now we're getting... fuck coins. You should have just called them Eldak Coins to avoid profanity. But no. And look at this next message. Use this button to facilitate your journey in this level. So we have a nice complex words like facilitate, which come after words like fuck. Yeah. Wait a minute. I need to time it right. When I'm holding an item, when I have like my fire power up, I turn around, part of Eldak's hair actually turns red. It's very noticeable that his hair just turns red while he's holding an item and he turns around. And these are some really easy levels. The levels don't have that much variety in the architectures. There's not that many defining features to these levels. It's mostly just ground and a few enemies sparsely placed to jump on or jump over here and there. Sometimes you just do nothing but run for a screen or two, or maybe one screen. And now we have this level called Paranoid Sea. Even some of the level titles allude to song names or song bands in heavy metal. For example, Paranoid Sea alludes to the Black Sabbath song Paranoid. You know, this song. And now listen to the version in this Romhack. Listen to this part of it. This is horrible. I can still at least tell that it is Black Sabbath's Paranoid, but it just got chewed up and spit out. For a second, the guitar riff makes you think that the game is glitching up. But this is the actual music. Of course, the level still is flat and simple and basic as the last one. What does it say? Advice. White boxes are like springs. Jump on one and it will push you to up. To up. Push you up would have been like a more accurate way of putting it. My god, this port was just so bad. Listen to Black Sabbath's Paranoid, then come back, listen to this. The difference is night and day. Now I think I finally know why Ozzy gets high. Because people go and completely and utterly rape Black Sabbath songs. Eddie's Oasis. I'm pretty sure that not as many people will be able to guess this one as the Paranoid one just before it. This is Iron Maiden's Power Slave. Yes, this is not an Eddie Van Halen song because the level's title, Eddie's Oasis, may just make you think instinctively Eddie Van Halen. This is not him. In fact, it's actually referring to Iron Maiden's mascot, Eddie the Head, which I wouldn't have known about their mascot had I not just looked them up on Wikipedia. I definitely knew the song and the band, but not their mascot. I don't really know of that many heavy metal mascots, to be honest. I'm mostly thinking about the band and their songs. Like Megadeth has Vic Rattlehead. Okay, this port's not half bad. Except it's still not nearly as good as the original song. The original song would be way better. Oh, by the way, this level is titled American Plains, which refers to... Yup. American Idiot by Green Day. Is Green Day technically even metal? I kind of doubt it. I don't think these guys are exactly metal. This is one of their heavier songs, but... it doesn't exactly classify as metal to me. We had Iron Maiden, we had Black Sabbath, now we have Green Day? Oh, sure. Oh, we also had AC/DC. Now we get Green Day. I was too busy talking about the music and how bad some of the ports were, I never even talked about the health point system that this hack uses now. As opposed to being small, getting powers to become big, then getting hit, becoming small if you're big, and then dying if you're small, you instead have this health point system. You start at 100 health points, and each hit you take takes only 10 away. That's even more hits that you can take than the last hack I played. You can take like 9 hits without dying. And there's also this magic point system. Each time you shoot a fireball, you lose magic points. You could say this is actually strictly worse than the fire power-up from the original Mario games, because this is the exact same as the original fire. No difference, just that it costs 1 point each time you shoot one. But you pretty much have this fire power-up by default. You never lose them no matter how many times you get hit. So not only are there very few enemies to have to deal with at all, you can just run and jump over them. You could also take 9 hits before you die, and you never even lose your fire power, which you can actually kill most of the enemies with fire anyway. Pretty much almost every enemy in this hack dies to fire anyway. Each fire power-up only restores 2 magic points, which isn't a lot considering you have like 50. The hearts and the fire power-ups don't restore a lot of your health and magic points. The hearts only restore 5 health points. Granted, you have a lot anyway. If you're really good at playing Super Mario Romhacks, you're not really gonna go through these anyway. That's a portal, according to that message box. Yeah, somehow that's a portal. Those 2 hearts and I only got like 10 health points. I have no idea what this song is. Quite a few of the level names actually alluded to the songs or the bands. End of demo doesn't really say anything about which song or band this could be. Okay, we get Yoshi, which is actually replaced by a Charizard! Yeah, running around on Charizard. That's awesome. This hack had some things going for it, but overall, it just didn't. In fact, the very idea of having a metal-themed ROM hack, I can imagine that many people would be so excited to have a ROM hack in which the songs are famous metal songs, such as AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, you know. These are songs which even anyone who has the slightest knowledge of metal could be able to tell which songs these are. These are the songs that define metal. These are all unsampled, by the way. This hack was done in 2012, before Add Music came, before sampling music was much easier. But some of the songs, some of the ports, just sound horrible. And this one has to be the worst of them all. If I haven't said it earlier, the guitar riff actually sounds like the game glitching up. And then I'm not even sure if Green Day is metal. But I think the most important part would have to be the level design. Are the levels interesting, engaging, and varied? They barely are at all. There are very few enemies, there's very little variation in the terrain, and often enough enemies will just appear in singles. Really easy to just jump on them, or even just jump over them. So it's pretty much just running and... So it pretty much just comes down to running and, yeah, jumping over everything. Kind of like Link's Adventure, but still not as flat and bare bones as that. So yeah, the levels suck too. So overall, this isn't very good. Music that's a far cry from the original heavy metal tracks that they're based off of. Levels that aren't that interesting. The game's just too easy overall. If I haven't said it already, you can take 9 hits before dying. You start with 100 HP. Each hit only subtracts 10. And you pretty much have the firepower by default. Except you can't use it when you run out of magic points. If you just shoot fire all willy-nilly, then you do run out quickly. But if you don't use it, then you really don't even need to worry about running out, because it's not like you're really gonna need the fire anyway. I have no idea what this metal riff is, but it's so catchy. Pretty much all these songs, all these ports are defined by their riff. Like Back in Black is defined by its except, of course, the song sounds way better than me. Paranoid is defined by the... I should probably stop butchering these songs too. I don't want to end up like this hack. This hack actually had a nice idea. It had something going for it. The very idea of having a metal-themed ROM hack. except the ports were pretty bad overall and a far cry from their original counterparts. Given how far Super Mario World custom music has come these days, with sampled music and add music K, well, I'm assuming that maybe the author of this hack ported these songs himself. He didn't do too bad a job at it, but someone else these days could do way better. Given how we have custom songs like Cursed Cathedral, that can tell you how far we've come in recent years. In just 3 years we've come this far, compared to, well, 2012. So while listening to Back in Black, or at least a really watered down version of it, we're gonna give the final verdict. This hack had a few nice ideas, going for it, but in the end it just didn't work. This song is watered down from the original counterpart, and the levels, they are bare bones and JOE. Yeah, I better stop singing. Yeah, the levels, you just run and jump over everything. They are really not special or memorable at all. They are very uninteresting. Very lacking in variety and just pretty much everything. So overall, this hack gets a 50%. It just didn't make it. The idea was there, the execution was just not.